Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wake Up Missoula. I'm your host, Scott Ramph, here to usher you into April 4th. It is the first Friday in April, so I have your art guide, what's happening in downtown Missoula from 5 to 8 p.m. This is the first Friday art experience that Missoula has been hosting for many years now. It's a great way for people to get out there, get out and about, and do all sorts of fun things in the downtown Missoula area for your first Friday. So I'll talk more on that later. I also have Pre-Critic and a brand new dubbin stuff. But today is more of a kind of like a fun show, or I like to call it more of a VJ show, where I show a bunch of clips, a bunch of videos and stuff that I've produced. I actually just produced a video just this morning that reflected the Ravara Scott Street Project that the city of Missoula has been working on. Right now they're in the middle of construction, and I'm going to throw it over to them. It is a relatively 8-minute video. I'm going to let you guys check it out and see what the new development is. This is a partnership between the city of Missoula, many different organizations, including banks, developers, and other things to make this happen. The city of Missoula owns the land that's under it, so they want to steward the land, essentially use tax increment financings to make vertical construction and not just use some of that TIF money to make sidewalks and road improvements. They want to make it to have permanent deed-restricted affordable housing in this particular area, but they got to sell some townhouses first along the way. So without further ado, here's Andrea Davis and Kai with the presentation and the walkthrough that I got a chance to do yesterday.
Okay, Kai, we ready to go?
All right.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks everyone for coming out here today for this tour. After the 4 long years that we put in doing paperwork, running budgets, and figuring out how we make this project a reality, now we actually have something to look at and tour that we'll get to bring up for sale. These first units here along Scott Street, those will be completed in late 2025, early 2026, and we'll bringing those on the market for sale. Everything that's under construction right now is all for home ownership. It's all for sale. It's part of the strategic structure that we created with the city of Missoula to bring this project together. A portion of them will be sold at market rate that will help bring additional funds into the project to facilitate in the creation of the community land trust home ownership units. So one of the components with this and in the development of the architectural process was how do we bring infill urban density in a livable situation, and that's been a key component that we've tried to drive from the beginning. With the shared wall townhome concept, and what that brings is it allows us to reach a higher level of urban density, which is higher utilization of all of the core infrastructure, but it also creates livable spaces for the community that's around. And one component that also is part of this is also the partnership with the parcel to the across the street from Charlotte as well, is there'll be the common area green space that has a deeded easement access back to this portion of the project as well. And the collaboration between the different projects is something that is highly novel and required a lot of time and energy and work to pull together, but it's the way to create the most livable community and site possible. Within the units, there's a diversity of units. We have 3 and 4 bedroom townhomes, and in that process, I have to give the team at Headwaters Construction an amazing shout out for the work that they've done of managing a construction schedule, progressing this project. We broke ground in October, and part of the process was getting all of the framing materials prefabbed on site. And we used the excess space to do that so that they could drive a highly rapid construction schedule. One of the components as well is just really looking at how do we bring in the efficiencies of both, building quality and building in livable spaces, and you'll see that in the floor plans that have been designed. So this one is a 3-bedroom. Okay. The 4 bedrooms there's 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom 3-story townhomes as well. And so there's a combination depending on what individuals are looking for in their home and how much open space versus bedrooms that they want out of their unit. Do you have any comments while we're in this section?
Well, I mean, I guess I would say, several of you were here when we did the groundbreaking last March. So we're basically 1 year after breaking ground, which is really exciting. We are thrilled. Thank you for coordinating this tour for us. We keep getting a lot of questions from folks saying, what's popping up over there? So great job to the Headwaters team and all of your subs and crew for working as efficiently and quickly as you can. We are thrilled to have this come out of the ground. It's, as you said, Kai, this has been many years in the making, and this is where the city, partnering with our private partners, our financing partners, our nonprofit partners, to make this kind of project a reality. and where we can both have conventional market homes as well as affordable homes, and we'll talk about that a little bit more, but we are able to, the city through its investments here, we're able to guarantee for the community 89 affordable homes for purchase for our workforce here in Missoula. We're doing that through a community land trust. The community land trust will be managed here by the North Missoula Community Development Corporation. We've got members of the team here today. Can you monitor spaces like this? In order to partner with the private sector to do this work. And so the city of Missoula purchased this land many years ago using investment through our tax increment financing program, so through the Missoula Redevelopment Agency. And that gave us some time to be able to do this larger plan and work together, as we were talking about downstairs. Now, when we purchased this land at the time, we were only able to utilize that type of financing or that type of investment for horizontal infrastructure. So we could, build the streets, and we could build, sidewalks and curb, and we could put in water lines, and we could put in sewer mains. And that's all really important work, and build parks. We continue to do that. But in the 2023 legislature, they enabled agencies like the Missoula Redevelopment Agency of the City of Missoula to take some of that money and actually put that into vertical construction. So we did that here, and this is the first project that we've done in the city, correct? That we've used that financing tool. And we continue to think about how we can best utilize our resources. And while we feel so fortunate to have them, we realize how precious they are. So we want to make sure that we're utilizing those as strategically as we can.
Behind us, we have clearly a lot of dirt, construction material, and everything else. What is north of Charlotte here will also be phase 2 of this project. In order to construct phase 2, we do have to get sell-through on these units. We don't have to get through all of them, but we do have to prove the market. We have to prove that it's there, and we have to get through the product. And as soon as we get through that process, we'll break ground on phase 2. And then also to the south of Charlotte here is where the Market Hall, that's the project that we're also working on now as well. We do have priority. It's the same team, same construction, architecture crew. Priority is focused on the community land trust component, but we're also bringing the Market Hall is the next portion of this project forward, and that'll face along Scott Street. And we're working with a local grocery operator to bring neighborhood grocery. We're talking to different commercial tenants as well who might be interested in occupying the space. But to the extent that we can get the word out of people who are interested in commercial space on Scott Street, we'd love to talk to anybody about that.
There is a good number of homes and commercial that will be on this site. So we just talked about 89 and then another over 200. So there will be a lot of people here. If you know of anybody with commercial interests, that's really what it takes. I think we all envision this. We're talking about, right, we're in the heart of this conversation in the city of Missoula. We've updated our land use plan, we're updating our zoning code. And a lot of us, dream about, I want to have that coffee shop in my neighborhood. But in order for that coffee shop to be financially viable, there needs to be people in that neighborhood that are willing to go to it. And so this does create that kind of an opportunity because there's so many people here that will say, I'm just going to walk down to whatever that service is. It might not necessarily just be a coffee shop. It might be some other, neighborhood scale service, right? We might see people that are able to provide tailoring or able to provide salon service, whatever that looks like.
Well, we want to bring services in here that help provide local community benefit. Also, if you don't have to drive to a dentist and you can come into your neighborhood and go there, or barbers, salons, it's pretty wide open on that front. And so I think it's more creativity is better in that sense, and how we bring a quality commercial project along Scott Street here together.
So if you're interested in a below market rate, you can contact the North Missoula CDC, and they've got a portion on their website.
Great.
For us, we have Ravara.com, which I think has an entry into it. If not, contact anybody on the Good Works team, and we'd be delighted to add you to the list and do free marketing once we have everything put together.
Excellent. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Kai.
All right.
Congratulations,
Thanks, Kai.
everybody.
Thank you.
So the Ravara project is strictly the first of its kind. So whether it works or not, there's no model, there's nothing that kind of predates it. So it's one of those things that the city is putting a lot of stock into this new way of developing affordable housing. All right, we're going to jump right into your pre-critic, where I prejudge a movie based on absolutely nothing but my biases towards movies in general. Kicking things off is the Minecraft movie. You guys like the Minecraft, you like going in the mines. There are two things about this movie that they get right. There are mines, and they do some crafts. So the rest of the story is pretty much real life people get stuck in a blocky world of Minecraft because mining is cool. Join the little boy equivalent of arts and crafts in this popular franchise that's banking off the indoorsy kids for over a decade. While some kids play Fortnite and others Roblox, this one is more for the wannabe programmers who create their own world until they run into a mechanic they can't find, or they find someone else who's even better at doing Minecraft and they just like throw their hands up. I assume they have to protect the Minecraft world from the people who want to use the world to get ill-gotten gains through the basic mechanics that make things without much effort into reality. So essentially Minecraft is like you can build, craft, and do all these kinds of things, and there's very little leeway and timing between each one. It's very much like you spawn items. So it's very much just like things happen and then you just do it. All right, following yet another one of those movies where the person goats the system into essentially winning, and so The Luckiest Man in America is actually a remake of a made-for-TV movie from way back when. I actually remember seeing it. It's so weird, but Press Your Luck and many other borderline gambling game shows that encourage people to go big and most of the time go home empty-handed. This one, more or less, is when a person begins to count the cards in the equivalent of Press Your Luck, so he times it out perfectly. So he essentially hits the button and he wins. He hits the button and wins, and he keeps winning. And people are just like, okay, we got to do something about this guy without it making it seem like we're basically cheating ourselves, because this guy's clearly cheating, but we can't do anything. So it's kind of like a weird thing where they have to like coerce him and everything like that, which actually makes it a lot worse. Instead of being like, hey, did you figure out how to do our system? Okay, we'll fix our system then. Moving on. Freaky Tales. Someone tell Pedro Pascal to ease up on the appearances, because now we're getting into an anthology territory in that only The Twilight Zone and Tales from the Crypt have ever done. While these kinds of movies get love long after the movies tried its best, we run into yet another film that brings those worlds into a movie that cannot stand on one plot alone. So they throw in a whole bunch of them through sci-fi horror elements in Oakland, California. So enjoy that. And then finally, we got a little movie called Grove. Military man takes experimental medication to solve all his problems. However, when he's not monitored, he doesn't take those medication and things go really bad to a point of a horror film. So it's like he's Jekyll and Hyde, but he needs to keep taking the medication to prevent Hyde from coming out, and then essentially Hyde destroys him. And guess what? There's a cabin in the woods. So, you know, things are going down, because as soon as you put a cabin in the woods in a horror movie, it's like you pretty much know who's going to die and who's going to live at this point. All right, so those are the movies that are coming out this weekend. I have something fun for you guys as well. We have a brand new dubbin stuff from the 1947 movie The October Man, and when we come back, we have plenty of other clips and other parts and other segments in the show that I'm going to be showing you guys.
So your name is Jim Smith?
That's right, my name is Jim Smith.
Huh. I guess it says on this identification.
Well, if there's nothing else, what else do you need to hear from me?
Middle name?
No, I don't have a middle name. Why would you ask that?
No reason. I'm just wondering.
Well, now that I think about it, I don't know why my father didn't give me a middle name, or even his first name as my middle name.
You sure about that?
Yeah,
You sure you don't have a middle name, maybe like a Smithy or a Bob?
That would be nice, but my parents have never had to use a long foreign name to get me into trouble. They just get my attention and they say my name.
You should probably understand why I don't believe you don't have a middle name.
Oh, but I don't have a middle name.
Jim Smith. You know why parents put a middle name for their children? Well,
when they run out of first names to call each other, they need a middle name to differentiate.
Well, Jim Smith. Oh, come in.
I found the documents you've been looking for, sir.
Well, I'll be on my way.
What kind of documents?
Oh, don't worry about it. It's just paperwork.
All right, sir. I found the guy's name. He wrote in the registry, Jeff C. Smith. You see right here?
Well, you know what this means.
Covering up the fact that he has a middle name, or simply he doesn't want anyone to know he has a middle name, so people stop asking.
Try again.
Jeff Smith's too common. He doesn't want to go by his middle name.
Well, you know what the detectives call me?
Incognito, lazy, exploits police resources. No. Oh, hello?
Oh, Detective Smith. Well, it looks like you've had a middle name this whole entire time. Well, I didn't mean to lie to a police officer. What are you not telling me? I need answers right now. Why don't you go by your middle name? 'Cause it's Chappie.
Hey guys, welcome back. There's a lot of art happening in the downtown Missoula area, and I have your art guide for you today. We're going to kick things off with Pot Sketch, which is an art installation happening at the Clay Studio of Missoula. The Pot Sketch preview exhibit provides the opportunity to view the amazing work as part of the Pot Sketch 2025 auction. Funds are raised during Pot Sketch to help sustain Clay Studio of Missoula. They are pleased to feature artists, notable local artists, but not limited to Stephanie Frostad, Stephen Gluckert, Theo Ellsworth. In addition, the Pot Sketch auction will include centerpiece item as well as live auction work from several nationally acclaimed ceramic artists such as Julian Galloway, Richard Notkin, Robert Harrison, and many more. The array of small scale available in Pot Sketch provides the opportunity for many to bid on and take home to the unique creation. You know, for those who don't know what Pot Sketch is, it's a small works created by invited artists who are provided all the same starting points, a 5x5 piece of paper that they can choose to use or disregard entirely to make these special creations. So support creativity. All this stuff goes on and kicking off today. Most of these events are happening from 5 to 8 p.m. As we move on, we're going into the lives and lessons of zoo animals featuring Nicole Emlin. This is part of the Montana Natural History Center. They're focusing on artist and student Nicole Emlin as she shares her photography series, Lives and Lessons of Zoo Animals. They'll provide a brief introduction about her piece and many future works. You can meet the artist and enjoy inspiring night at the Montana Natural History Center. Here is an artist note from Nicole herself. Photography helps me capture some of the beauty that exists in the world and share what I see with others. Beauty is all around us, whether we notice it or not. Photographs give us a chance to study nature with a perspective we could not get in real time. I hope to curate curiosity with my photographs and inspire people to ask questions rather than dismissing something because it's gross or scary or cute. I aspire to work with animals, either zoos, sanctuaries, or educational nonprofits. It is unfortunate that so many animals are in captivity, and while many are there for good reasons, it means they won't live like they could in the wild. So you can share all that kind of stuff, and there's so much more that we can learn from the, other forms of life, and that's what she strives to show folks. And then as we move on, we're going on to our next one featuring Jason Elliott Clark at the Missoula Art Museum. This is the big gallery there, and this is a special First Friday event featuring that artist. The evening begins with an artist talk at 5:30 p.m. where Clark shares insight into his large-scale installation, Freeland. This exhibit showcases Clark's expertise in monotype, using stencils, ghost prints, and color fades to examine the importance of land policies on indigenous communities. This is in the main gallery. And as we move further down at the artist shop, Lana E. Plata, this is Patagonian Hands, featured at the artist shop. And featuring two artists, essentially wool sculptures and silverwork by Claudio Pelayo and Carl Knutson of Patagonia Hands. So Claudio's author note is, I create animals, mostly birds, using only sheep wool, and that I get in Hall, Montana, and some of my family in Chile. I don't usually use any glues or stitches to keep the sculptures together, but the compression I get through the barbed needles that push the fibers every time I poke the wool. This process is known as needle felting. They also love creating silver jewelry. Inspiration is nature, design, handsaw, solder, file, and polish each piece. And then Carl, the other side of this, he's known to innovative paint splatter technique, recently unveiled in a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. His latest creation transforms a reclaimed rocking chair into a vibrant canvas, showcasing his signature style. Carl's work blends elements of abstract expressionism with the eco-consciousness approach as he breathes new life into discarded objects. This chair, once an ordinary piece of rocking chair furniture, now bursts with the dynamic color and textures, reflecting Knutson's ability to find beauty in indie and conventional. So you can feature these at the artist shop tonight. And then we move on to Bernice's Bakery. This is featuring Grace Lawless, a Missoula local who has proudly hosted a few shows around town. Her talent for expression, bold colors, and embracing chaos makes her stand out as a leading artist in the Missoula community. Quote, Lawless sees the world as a playground and reflects those beliefs to her art. And this is going to be at Bernice's Bakery. So if you guys get a chance, check it out. And our last two is featuring at Confluence Center. This is Willard High and also Yvette Kurlsrud, the Confluence Center. The arts program Tourette's is a thrill to present the magical evening with arts community. They proudly presents exhibits of self-expression and designing happiness. In the main exhibit space, they're working with teens from Willard Alternative High School and with self-expression through various mediums of and processes. Art is extremely important part of Willard experience and self-expression, and highly enjoy wide array by these young talents as they reflect unique personalities of Willard. And then we have the Bitterroot space featuring Yvette with Designing Happiness, a local artist re-emerging onto the scene, and viewers to see the world through a lens of beauty and transformation, through layers of wax, oil paint, and mixed media. This curated selection of work captures Yvette's journey towards harmonizing the shadows of light of the past and present. Each piece is intentionally crafted to transform personal and inherited stories into expressions of resilience, depth, and beauty. So you can expect that at the Confluence Center. So as we move on to our last folks at the Wren Hotel, this is Aaron Huffman, Only Love is Real. The Wren Hotel is from 5 to 7 p.m. for the month's first Friday and pop-up gallery. Born and raised in Missoula, Aaron is a self-taught painter. Her deep connection with nature fuels her adventurous spirit and inspires her passion for making art. Since they have a light show with City Council, we also have some songs from the Mountain and Valleys featuring Dr. Fly playing King Louie. So without further ado, here is a little taste of some music for you guys.
One more way to say that you could be there, but not too fucking nice, not too nice.
Hey guys, we're back. Let's talk about some events that are happening in downtown Missoula. We're not just talking about First Friday, we're just talking about events in general. If you're interested in going out and about every day, every weekday at Bonner Park, they do a Mommy and Me workout class starting at 9:30 a.m. Also, every Friday they have Mismo Gymnastics has their family fun time started at 10 a.m. Things are a little bit cooler outside. We've got a little bit more snow happening, so why not check that out. Tiny Tales here at the Missoula Public Library every Friday. Story time is every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. And also Roots Soccer Sports Center, another indoor gymnastics kind of field with a bunch of pads and trampolines, all happening at 10:45 this morning at Roots Soccer Sports Center. Finally, we got Butterfly Release happening at 11 a.m. I keep on saying finally, but Butterfly House, but they're doing a Butterfly Release this Friday at 11 a.m. They do it sporadically every couple weeks or so just to kind of keep up with the butterfly population. Honko Japanese Name Stamp. So the Lifelong Learning Center is doing a Honko, which is basically they really love their giant stamp, so it's unique to each individual. Use the sealing and signing documents, letters, and personal items. In this course, you'll learn how to design and carve your own personalized Honko name stamp using wood carving tools and techniques. You will create a one-of-a-kind stamp. All supplies are included, and all levels are welcome. And this is class, so you do have to pay to join it. So it's at 11 a.m. at the Lifelong Learning Center. Yarns and Watercolor. This is happening on the 4th floor of the Missoula Public Library every Friday at noon. This is a great way for people to do watercolor painting or just stitch and crochet. All Abilities Art Club is at 1 p.m. This is usually Fridays at 1 p.m. Lego Club at 2:30 p.m. here at the Missoula Public Library on the 2nd floor. April 1st Friday, Sacred Alley. This is one of the First Friday events that weren't in my First Friday, but at Sacred Alley, they're hosting a fact and fiction book. They're partnering with Fact and Fiction Books to support local authors and performers, and they're doing Sacred Alley, a healing and empowering art center dedicated collaborating with community and local artisans. There'll be a wonderful evening of poetry reading by local artists, accompanied by performances by local pole and aerial dancers. Hybrid silent auction for sustainable classrooms. The Florence Building is also opening the doors for First Friday. It's a hybrid silent auction. They're doing this for the current kindergarten classroom to be built at Gadakope, Toga. This is through the Florence Building. So the Pettifoggers and Ben Surratt at Compass Barbershop. Compass Barbershop is hosting a band. And as part of the First Friday, they'll be hosting a strange and wonderful Pettifoggers, as they, well as some of the very moving photographs by Ben Surratt. If you love the night sky and a little foot stomping, come by and join them for that as well. Then we have the International Wildlife Film Festival Wildfire Art Gallery opening at the Roxy Lounge. So go to the Roxy, kick off the International Wildlife Film Festival with wildlife-themed art show in the Roxy Lounge featuring works by Laris Reichs, Ryan Webster, Jules Lacuro, Megan Grau, and more. The gallery will be open all April, but artists will present for the opening tonight, starting at 5 p.m. Volume Room, First Friday Open Jam. So this is a lot of people coming together to do a jam session at the Volume Room. Days get longer, nights getting warmer. They have been having a great jams with musicians from all over Missoula, and you can come check them out at the Volume Room. And I believe that's in the alleyway as you're going towards Warden's, between, actually, technically it's like an alleyway between Warden's and Pine Street. It is a kooky kind of place, but regardless, that's going to go on from 5 to 8 p.m., just like everything with the First Friday, including the teen art reception at the Missoula Public Library. So going and extending past normal hours, the First Friday, this celebrates Sentinel High School seniors as they display their art at the teen space on the 2nd floor, themed around Greek mythology. Light refreshments will be provided. Please note that if you arrive after 6 p.m., only the main street entrance will be open. The pieces will be on display throughout the month of April. Movers for Moms, pottery painting event, Hearts of Fire Pottery and Art Studio. Join the special Hearts of Fire Pottery and 2 men and a half truck fundraiser benefiting Mountain Home Montana, an organization which provides a safe home and nurturing community where young mothers are discovering their strengths and children thrive. And this is going to be at the Hearts of Fire Pottery and Art Studio. Tango Dance Party at 6 p.m. This is from 6 to 9 p.m. They're doing basically Tango Dance Party at the Montana Moonlight Studios. We got a champagne drip at the Wilma. They're going to be playing some electronic music, not to be confused with actually drinking champagne. Elliot Crow is going to be the Old Post playing some country music tonight at 7 p.m. Rhino Night also has art benefit to support the community at the Rhino Bar at 7 p.m. Cranky Sam is playing some blues music featuring the Blue Shadows. Karaoke at the Jack Saloon. Metamorphosis is going to be at the University of Montana. This is going to go on all week along with the matinee on Sunday. This is a reimagining Ovid's beautiful poetry. Pioneering playwright Mary Zimmerman brings his stories to life in a large pool of water, a metaphor that is a cosmos for forever changing, whether calm as a lake or violent as a typhoon. The perils of Midas's greed, the dedication between Orpheus and Eurydice, even in death, the divine reward for kindness to strangers, and many more stories are explored in this unique and beautiful production. In Pieces is going to be another production happening at the Zootown Arts Community Center. The piece description is, who are you really? 8 people explore their past choices and relationships to answer that question candidly. By visiting their past journeys, they can learn to accept who they are and explore who they want to become. UM's Zootown Cabaret delivers a fresh new musical with a pop-driven score by award-winning writer and composer Joey Cantaris. And then we have some late night things happening with Tickle My Fancy at the Badlander, doing some live body art experience starting at 8 p.m. Cal Blank, Kate, and the Hot Shots is going to be at Union Club at 9 p.m. The blank is me, censoring myself. But anyways, as we jump into Saturdays, we have a pajama party brunch at the Old Post starting at 8 a.m. Missoula Valley Winter Market at 9 a.m. at the Southgate Mall. Things are warming up out there, so we'll be seeing the farmers market start migrating outdoors pretty soon. But this is at the continuation going on at the Southgate Mall starting at 9 a.m. Get ready for home ownership, homebuyer education class at 9 a.m. at Homeward. So if you're interested in buying a home or a first-time home buyer, Homeward is a great organization. They also provide grants and other stuff to help people purchase their first home. Inequality in a post-racial America. This is a Molly class. This is one of those kind of like how the University of Montana does their own lifelong learning center for people who just want to do some additional education. So this course is for those wanting to explore the problem of racial inequality in America's society and to understand the practical and conceptual disputes over how to achieve equality in the present moment. So this is going to be happening from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. Makerspace walk-in hours. This is every Saturday at 10 a.m. This is a great way for you to get introduced to the makerspace and 3D printing here at the Missoula Public Library. Line dancing at the Missoula Senior Center. It seems like they're doing this every Saturday at 10 a.m. Tree pruning workshop, Missoula Urban Demonstration Project. They do all these kind of classes and whatnot. And if you're interested in effectively pruning your own fruit trees in Missoula Urban Demonstration Project, whether you want to boost fruit production, clean out dead branches, or just create a healthier, more visibly pleasing tree or shrub, this workshop will teach you everything that you need to know. This is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday. Milltown Orienteering. So if you're interested in how to figure out maps and how they work and navigate through different things, they're going to be hosting this at Milltown State Park. And part of this event is for all orienteering specific equipment is provided. And this is essentially just wayfinding for people who need to who use maps, compasses, and more just to find their way around. Craft shops at Missoula Public Library. This is a craft swap, mind you. This event is a perfect opportunity for crafters of all kinds to exchange supplies, share ideas, and discover new hobbies. Reusable material only. Don't want to swap but have things to donate, you can drop them off basically from now until the morning of April 5th, where they started at 10:30 a.m. So we also have a museum tour at the Missoula Art Museum, and just in time for First Friday. Planting your veggie garden. Karis Nursery does many of these classes and seminars, so that 'tis the season, it's springtime. If you're interested in planting some veggies, figure out which ones are perfect timing to do it right now and which ones are better for a later date. Hands off, Missoula Fights Back. This is at Missoula County Courthouse. They're taking everything they can into their hands, our healthcare, our ideas. So this is a huge protest against Donald Trump and Elon Musk on the lawn at noon on Saturday. They're taking to the streets and fighting back with a clear message, hands off. The mobilization day is the message to the world that we do not consent to the destruction of our government and our economy for the beliefs of Trump and his billionaire allies. So the core principle behind the hands-off event is a commitment to nonviolent action, as they expect our participants to seek to de-escalate any potential confrontation with those who disagree with the values. All right. Oh, sorry. So you can find out more information by going to handsoff.org. 2025.com for more information. National Handmade Day at the Vesbury Book Bindery. So this is part of binding books and stuff like that. This is they're hosting Flying Girl Designs and Inkworm Press, as well as having plethora of their own handmade books. The bookstore in the Warehouse Mall next to DraftWorks is your tour through the Missoula's Craft Wonderland. And then we have Teen Open Studio at the Missoula Art Museum. They do this every Saturday at 12:30. They provide art supplies to teenagers to encourage them to do art. We also have our MCAT Saturday drop-ins we do every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. We're also going to be promoting our summer camps. We still have spots available for a documentary camp and a horror camp. Horror camp is geared for older kids, but we have made leeway for some kids who have done our camps beforehand. Just letting you guys know that as well. We also have a nature walk happening at the Natural History Center starting at 2 p.m. on Saturday. D&D Guild for teens, so if your teens are interested in Dungeons and Dragons, or they're indoorsy and they want to have other kids who are also indoorsy to get together, it is a great way for kids to get together for basically playing imagination tug of war. Boxing at Big Sky High School. So this is a boxing club at the Big Sky High School is hosting a bout. This is USA Boxing sanctioned event. Amateur boxers from Montana, Idaho, Washington, Canada, and Arizona will be competing in this event. There will be 20 bouts, and this will be at Big Sky High School starting at 4 p.m. on Saturday. And also wrapping up your Saturday nights for all these events, Nashville 406 is playing some country music at the Jack Saloon. The Folklore Society is doing contra dance at Elks Lodge Ballroom. Karaoke at Westside Lanes. The Owen Ross Band is going to be playing at Union Club, and DJ Chris Mooner will be wrapping up your Saturday at the Badlander. On Sunday, we got Turkey Tactics, where women learn to hunt. This is through WMFGA, Deer Creek Shooting Center. A course where women learn skills needed to for your spring turkey hunt. They will be cover scouting, habitat biology, and turkey behavior, have a turkey calling demonstration, and talk about shotgun safety, fit, and patterning. All right, then we also have that a 5K beer run hosted by Blacksmith Brewing Company. We got Garden City Salsa at the Rocky Mountain Valley Theater at 1 p.m. on Sunday. You got Clay Studio is doing a bunch of events on Sundays, intro, family things, but they're doing a Sunday afternoon beginning pottery at 1 p.m. You also have Showtime Academy is showing an aerial series and student showcase at 1:15 p.m. at the Showtime Academy. And then we got comedy, open mic at the VFW at 8 p.m. and then karaoke at the Sunrise Saloon to wrap up your Sunday. So there's that. And I also have more videos for you guys, because this is a video-filled, fun video-filled video featuring many of the kids of our spring break camp. But without further ado, here is a little taste of some of our spring break camp, and it's and then when I come back, we're going to talk about some news, things that are affecting Missoula.
What's your name?
Emerson Beige.
What's my name?
I don't know. Hey, do you want to see my time machine?
Okay.
Okay, come with me. I got a time machine.
So what is this thing?
It's a time bike. Isn't that obvious?
I don't know. I've never seen this thing before.
Oh, well, that's a flux capacitor. And these are the timey-wimey things. And yeah, this is a bike.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'll explain to you how it works so you can use my time bike if you need to.
Blue bike.
Oh my gosh, I have 10 minutes to get in my hair wash. Bye! Don't use my bike!
Wait, what was the last thing he said? Use his hair, or use the bike. I can turn this, hit that, slap that.
Time bike, it's the time bike, it's the time bike, it's the time bike, it's the time.
Workout. Hey, you guys know what time puzzlement is?
What's that be?
I don't know, but I think it's a disease.
Oh, we have plenty of that. It be the Black Death, young lady.
Wait.
I know what confuzzlement.
You do?
I had a vision of a man in the 1920s who would find a cure for confuzzlement.
Sir, come inside. I might know how to help. Okay. I'm Tyrone II. I have just enough magic to be able to power your time bike for you to jump once. You know what? Let's do it. Okay.
Time bike, it's the time bike, it's the time bike, it's the time bike, time bike.
Hey, sir, do you do the flux capacitor?
You mean a flux capacitor?
Yes!
Well, yeah.
Can you fix mine?
Sure. Do you have iridium?
Yes.
I'm just kidding. Sure, I'll fix it for you. Hey, do you know anything about confuzzlement? I'm trying to make a confuzzle ray.
Yes, I do. I actually have it.
Oh, cool. Can I take some notes?
Yes, but can you hear me at the end?
Well, yeah, if I'm making a confuzzle ray, of course I need to know the cure. You just get hit on the head with a big magic stick.
Cool. Boop, boop. Ah.
It's fixed. Goodbye.
Time bike, it's the time bike, it's the time bike, it's the time bike, time bike. It's the time bike.
Do you know what magic stick is? Can I use magic stick? Thank you! You just cured me! Thank you, oh, thank you, oh, thank you!
Banana.
What?
Banana.
What?
Banana.
Who are you?
Banana.
Oh no. I should run. So fast.
Banana Man! Banana Man! Banana Man! Dan's going down to Bananaville. Everyone gets a potassium pill. And if you don't, you got to be peeled. Banana Man! Banana Man! Banana Man!
All right, we are back. Let's talk about some news and other things that are happening around as I wrap up this show for you guys. We're kicking things off, this week we got Liberation Day. Do you feel liberated? Well, I don't know about you, but we definitely had a shock to the system in our economy with basically $2 trillion worth of stock gone. with tariffs unilaterally affecting all countries to the tune of at least 10% across the board, regardless of, Penguin Island or whatever. While this is happening, people in Trump's coalition is concentrating on loyalty over the immediate crisis at hand, particularly Loomer, who claims many staffers are essentially not fulfilling the Make America Great agenda, aka Project 2025, whatever you call it. However, this could be just seen as a political theater, as China imposed upwards of 34% of all U.S. imports to their country, and this will start next Thursday, April 10th, and the markets that opened in Europe just this week noticed that by midday, Germany's DAX, their stock market, it lost 5%. It's a big deal. CAC 40 in Paris slipped by 4.2%, and Britain's FTSE 100 gave up 3.8%. Oil prices fell as much as 8%. Mind you, Germany is Europe's biggest market, which affects all other countries regardless of UK's Brexit a couple of years back ago. The U.S. exports an array of goods to China, including machinery, soy, corn, aerospace products, share in companies that stand to suffer from China's tariffs, including Deere & Company, which fell 4.7% in pre-market, and Boeing, which slid 6%, but Boeing's been kind of going through their own stuff lately. Apple products have also seen its share decline by 4.7%, and overall the decline in the U.S. economy is expected to drop another 2%, with inflation going up by 5%. On top of taxing imports from Canada and Mexico, all motive companies outside the U.S. have been hit with a 25% tariff on non-U.S. made vehicles. While Japan tried to get an exemption to no avail, they have teamed up with other countries like China and South Korea to work with, so Japanese Trade Minister Yoji Moto flew to Seoul to meet with his counterpart from South Korea and China and agreed to promote fair and fair trade and investment, saying Trump trade policies are fueling protectionism. Major automakers like Toyota, Honda, and their exports to the United States are a major driver for the Japanese economy. As a short-term measure, the government plans to set up 1,000 consultation windows across the country to respond to concerns of small to medium-sized auto part makers and other manufacturers that would be affected by U.S. tariff increase. So, yeah, we saw that Liberation Day happen. As we bring it back to Montana, the U.S. is dealing with many kits from DOJ in general to a point where they can't even hire new people. So whatever the people that they have or haven't already kicked out, they're dealing with those kind of overworked small amounts of employees. Montana votes to continue Medicaid expansion program this week. State of Montana, they typically pay about 10% of the overall federal funded Medicaid program. HB 245 was signed detailing the safety net of Medicaid for those who are in truly need of it, while endorsing work requirements and other undefined guardrails on low-income health coverage programs. Gianforte essentially, the Gianforte, our governor of Montana, essentially began his career as having work requirement related to basic Social Security programs, which never really passed, but kept this work ethic in the background of many supported bills related. 75,000 people in Montana who fell below the low-income housing between the ages of 18 and 65 will continue their coverage, with the majority of Medicaid expansion costs. 90% are paid for by the federal government, with state picking up 10% of the tab using a variety of special revenue, taxes, and general state funds. Montana shares 2024 was slightly less than $100 million. According to Montana Free Press, many people in the legislature have over 10 years of data to support this program as working effectively and efficiently overall. And now, as we talk more about the state law and regulations, we also talk about how cities address parking in communities. House Bill 492 would limit city parking requirements to 1 space per dwelling unit, as the old school reasoning behind this is that the national average, a person is worth 1.5 car, which when you have, the whole kind of like concept of family dynamics, a lot of people have 2 cars, 1 for each person of the household, plus the extra car just in case. So with less parking, there's a less options for people who depend on parking, and essentially you'd be saving additional square footage. This also reduces cost of development by $5,000, which is how much a single parking spot costs, which is wild to think about, putting in just for one spot. By and by, the city's presented options for future development of Missoula's urbanized plans to reduce parking and requirements on developers to grow inward and updating our public transportation infrastructure as a whole, which is looking pretty good overall. But I don't have much else to go on, but I'm just going to throw it over to montanafreepress.org to see if there's anything that's popping up. And it seems in the front page article basically says bill to overhaul exempt well use stalls in Montana Senate. So this is Senate Bill 358. So this is a proposal which they've been working on for 2 years now. It sought to restrict the use of exempt wells in 4 of Montana's fastest growing areas, expand the volume of groundwater available for subdivision development across much of the remaining parts of the state, and create a water quality petition process to close aquifers facing nutrient pollution from septic systems that often occupy wells. So developers have increasingly relied on exempt wells to build low-density housing in rural and semi-rural areas of Montana, arguing that permitting process is arduous, uncertain, and expensive. So yeah, so essentially between September 24th and October 22nd, the Department of Environmental Quality processed nearly 4,700 subdivision applications featuring exempt wells compared to 205 that went through the water rights permitting process. So yeah, water rights is a big thing in the state of Montana, not to mention the fact that eastern Montana deals with many of the droughts that the Montana has declared emergency over. So there's definitely something to look forward to this summer. But we have been seeing a lot of rain, a lot of snow just in general going into this week here in Missoula. Hopefully some of that precipitation has affected more of the eastern parts of Montana. But at the same time, we don't want to have an unusually wet season. Just as much as we don't want an unusually dry season, we want a good balance between the two, much like how northern part of the parts of California, which experienced a major bloom in recent years, only be followed up by that major fire that happened in the dead of winter, where essentially they went from being a fire season to just a fire year. So something to think about as we're moving forward. And I don't know if I have anything else for you guys, but I did want to show it over to maybe even a teaser from the valley and mountains and streams. So I'm going to throw it over to this next video for you guys. And then I'm going to wrap up my show. And for Wake Up Missoula, I'm Scott Ramp. Here is a band featuring our own Dylan Albin's work.